From the ornate chambers of the emperors of yesteryears to the Havelis of today's kings and princes, this handicraft has traveled through the vagaries of time and has lived to tell its stories to the world. Introduced to the human race by Persians, Syrians and Iranians, this craft was first pioneered in India by the Bahmani Sultans somewhere between the 13th and the 15th century.
बशकला बुते अय्यार बरामद हर लहजा बशकला बुते अय्यार बरामद बुते अय्यार बरामद बुते अय्यार हर हाँ बुते अय्यार बरामद बुते अय्यार बरामद बुते अय्यार बरामद दिल बुर्द नेहा शुद दिल बुर्द नेहा अरे हो दिल बुर्द अरे हाँ
The legacy of this kingly handicraft was then carried forward by the Nizam of Hyderabad, who introduced it in Aurangabad, the city that was part of his kingdom. Bidri, as the handicraft came to be known and gained popularity with his name, has been a part of a rich and ostentatious heritage adorning the forts and palaces of the kings and rulers. From its intricately carved sarais to glasses and cutlery, plates, trays, bowls, vases, spice boxes, cigarette cases, hookah bases, buttons and cufflinks to pieces of jewelry. Bidri craft was indeed the art that could beautify the abodes of rich and the famous people. Even the products that were made and designed in Bidri were used by the royals in their daily life. With its inlay work in pure silver or gold, the craft was befitting for the royalty and therefore flourished during the time of their reign. But the rulers that propagated the art saw to it that the craft did not die. It was passed on to the successive generation of craftsmen who belonged to the Muslim community, the Lingayat sect.
And 5-6% copper. When it is made, it looks white. So silver inlay and the work looks fresh. But after applying a sort of coating, which is with the clay around the Bidar fort, the object becomes black, and that is the charm of Bidri, silver shining against black. Bidri objects were used mostly by the royalty, not the kings or sultans. By Rajas, with Nawabs, they use Bidris, but we find hookahs of late 17th century onwards, Thal also 17th century onwards. And there were technique used was either two types, either the alphabets or the design was engraved and silver pieces of the same size were beaten in, and around the groove, when they beat, the silver expanded and got into the grooves. There was the other technique which was more difficult. It would take 5-6 times more time than normal Bidri of this type. This was Mehtavi, means it looked like moonlight, in which the work, the background is silver, the alphabets are black. Because the alphabets are raised and the background is scraped out and the same thickness of silvers are inlaid. Later on, this technique reached Lucknow, where it started being made in the last quarter of the 18th century in Lucknow.
This is a Bidar Deepam. I have been in Andhra, Telangana for last 40 years, and I've always been very fascinated with the specialized handicraft of Andhra. So last year, when my daughter actually wanted to send out some gifts, I requested Mahmood Bhai here to do a Deepam. What my idea behind this was, I wanted to bring craft and things of utility in today's context. Earlier they used to make ugal, dan and other things which are of not use in today's context for a housewife or a person to stay in the house. So we thought about this Deepam. I had a big prototype in a different metal. I gave it to Mahmood Bhai, who is a state awardee. I had ordered about 400 pieces. He did exquisite work, gave me on time, and he showed me so many samples and kept on guiding me about the design element.
An alluring fact about Bidri is the mystery surrounding the black sheen that finished product gets from the soil used in the final process. The part that has not seen rain or sunshine for hundreds of years.
ये जो मिट्टी है, ये मिट्टी कभी हमारे पास ख़त्म नहीं होगा बिदर में, और इसलिए ख़त्म नहीं होता क्योंकि जो धूल जो उड़ता है हमारे पास, जो डस्ट, तो डस्ट उड़ने के बाद उस एरिया में जमा होता है जहाँ पे आदमी लोग ज़्यादा नहीं जाते, और वहाँ पे जो सुबह में जो शबनम गिरती है, उस शबनम की वजह से इसके अंदर थोड़ा सा खारापन आता है. खारेपन की वजह से शायद ऊपर वाले ने इसमें हमको ब्लैकनेस कलर दिया है, और इसी वजह से हमारे जो बिदर की जो खास बात है उसी से कलर आता है.
This black soil used as a final oxidizing agent has special chemical properties that despite research continue to remain ambiguous. Whatever be the reason, the fact remains that Bidri work would remain incomplete without the final touch of this soil. Will the artwork then perish once the soil is exhausted? But then, has it not been going on for the last hundreds of years? Where does it replenish from? Well, as long as the Bidri fort soil exists, so will Bidri. The work on the product begins with the casting of the alloy, whereby a mix of soil, castor oil and resin is used to prepare a mold. A molten metal alloy of zinc and copper in the ratio of 16:1 is poured into this mold. Depending on the product design, different metal casting may need to be welded together to form one single product. After the casting, the rough surface of the product is rubbed with sandpaper to smoothen it. This process is called buffing. In order to draw designs on the product, copper sulfate is then applied on its shiny surface, which causes it to become temporarily black in color. This makes it easy for the craftsman to draw clearly on the black surface. With meticulous precision, the craftsman now etches a design using a pencil-like tool called the metal stylus. He carefully draws out the outlines of designs using his imagination and borrowing from familiar surroundings various patterns from everyday life and nature. Years of practice make this chisel in his hands move with such effortless perfection that there is no room left for any mistake. The delicate tapestry of design spreads itself over the product and soon covers the whole surface, making it extremely intricate with fine detailing. Patterns that are common to Bidri artwork include a variety of floral sprays, leaves, fish, shape of a diamond, and lozenges. Once the design is engraved, it is time for the inlay work to begin. The craftsman uses two types of inlay work to beautify his work of art. Depending on the type of design, either sheet or wire work is brought into play. Very thin wires of pure silver are carefully embedded into the engraved design and hammered to set it in. Gold may also be used for this purpose at times. The surface is then buffed and made smooth, and in the process the extra silver wire jutting out of the engraving is removed. Now the design is neatly ensconced, but in the entire procedure the temporary black coating on the product is lost, and it turns white against, making the silver inlay work hardly visible.
ये हम 7 पीस लेते हैं, इससे 7 इससे पानी डाल देते हैं। इसमें जो कंकर वगैरह जो रहते हैं वो हम निकाल देते हैं। ये एल्युमिनियम क्लोराइड है, जो हम इसको नौसागर बोलते हैं, एल्युमिनियम क्लोराइड।
The Bidri craftsman must now proceed toward the final stage of oxidizing the finished product. That is where the Bidri fort soil comes in. This soil is mixed with ammonium chloride in boiling water, and the product is dipped in it, stirred and pulled out and wiped clean. The soil leaves its indelible black color onto the craft work, leaving the silver unaffected. This dark black hue is permanent. The inimitable soil leaves its stamp on every single piece, and the exquisite Bidriware is ready to mesmerize the world with its minimal black and white mystique.